risen.
Gru is actively rising.
Gru has risen.
But also has
All
risen.
who bow down to Gru.
Anthony, have you ever seen a Minions movie? Or have you ever seen a Despicable Me movie? I guess this is the Minions now.
Is it, or are they thought of as Minions now? They're all Minions movies, and Despicable Me is a Minions prequel.
But there's not as many Minions as there are Despicable Me's. There's 3 Despicable Me's.
Oh no, I've seen the trailer.
There's Despicable Threes.
There's only one Despicable Me and a million of those Minions. There's only one Gru and a bunch. Hey,
there's Despicable 3.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
How many Grus? Just one.
There's one Gru.
So this is a prequel to the prequel.
Yeah. Because there's Big Gru.
This is a Lightyear situation. I can't figure it out.
Yeah, and then there's Baby Gru.
I have never seen a Minions movie because the internet has made me hate Minions.
Yeah. Facebook made you hate Minions.
Yeah, I can't. I simply cannot watch a Minion. One of the dark, seedy underbellies of Japan that they don't tell you about before you go there. Something you really should know. They fucking love Minions.
Did we fucking love Minions?
Do we?
I'm sorry, but I think at this point, look, we live in Los Angeles, California, and I think at this point, the giant minion that hangs out over the freeway is more famous than the Hollywood sign.
That's true.
That's where we're at.
Or
the
should
Hollywood
I say,
sign?
That's Gru. Hey.
The Hollywood sign is officially old news. We have a giant minion that peers its watching eye over the 101 freeway.
Now,
and that is how you know you're in LA.
Which minion is the one-eye minion? Or are they all one-eye minions? Some of them have 2 eyes.
Yeah, I think, it's a mixed bag.
Is that Bob? I know one of them is named Bob. Look, everybody shut up. Minions is the biggest 4th of July movie ever. The Rise of Gru has just set records for summer box office openings. It's the biggest 4th of July opening ever. More people went to see Minions: The Rise of Gru than any other movie on July 4th.
Yeah, that's wild. Not this year on July 4th, not a pandemic July 4th record, because we've talked a lot about like pandemic-based records for box offices. No, ever.
This is of all time, $125.2 million opening.
And you might be unfamiliar with why that is happening. Why has the Rise of Gru risen? Mostly, it's just memes. I'm sure some of it, a small portion, is children going to see the children's movie that the children like, and Facebook moms going to see the Facebook mom movie that the Facebook moms like.
Oh, I'm sure it's a lot of that.
But the reason it has been such an absolute smash in comparison to the other movies of the franchise is because a giant meme has blown up, which was kind of based on the 2 tickets to the Joker, please.
Oh, or the people who
meme.
dressed up to see Sonic.
Yeah. So this has become that. It's a lot of those memes going around that says 2 tickets to the Minions Rise of Gru, please.
Now, I have seen a lot of people dressing up in their Sunday finest.
Yeah.
In the Minions, the gentle Minions.
Yeah.
Going to see it. And people are like, oh, that goose box office sales. But here's what I'm going to tell you. The people who are going to see The Rise of Gru, dressed in suits, the gentle Minions, are coming up with an excuse to see Minions ironically because they are exactly the age where they would have seen Minions as children. Do you know what I mean? These are people that were going to go see it anyway.
I don't know if that's true.
These are people that are
not this many.
Mostly in their late teens, early 20s. But it's not all because of the suit people. Listen, a lot of people just genuinely like Minions.
So the first Despicable Me movie came out July 9th, 2010.
Sure. So if you were a kid when you saw it, you're in your late teens, early 20s now.
Yeah, I'm going to say honestly, I do think that it is thriving for the meme. I don't think that it's like a secret cover-up for people wanting to see the new Minions movie.
I don't think it's a secret cover-up. I think it's like, let's go see Minions. Yeah, let's go see. That would be hilarious. Yeah, that would be hilarious. Yeah, it would be hilarious. I also kind of like Minions. Yeah, me too. I remember that from when I was a kid. Yeah, me too. There's a lot of that. But there's also just a lot of kids going to see Minions. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
I didn't understand how big a deal it was.
And the gentle Minions being such a big part of it, certain theaters are actually like hesitant to let people who are finely dressed in now. What is it, Anthony?
I'm sorry. Is it now illegal to enjoy the theater?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is it illegal to show the proper respect to a theater-going experience?
If I show up with a monocle, are they not going to let me in?
This top hat says that I'm a gentleman, and I'm here to see a gentleman's movie. I take the movies seriously. Listen.
With a big eye on it.
Yeah, with one big eye on it.
Yeah.
Look, it's also just the world is open. And this is one of the first big kids releases. People didn't go to Lightyear. I think a lot of families are going to see Minions because here's something that we forgot to think about with Lightyear. Anytime a Pixar or animated Disney movie comes out now, what's in my head is, do I need to see this now or is this on Disney Plus in 45 days?
Interesting.
And I think that's changed the way a lot of people go see Disney movies.
That's not what kept me from going to Lightyear. I didn't go to Lightyear because I didn't care.
No, me neither. I also did not care. But I think for a lot of families that would have normally gone and seen it, particularly so close to everything reopening, I know a lot of my friends who are parents were like, we don't know if we're ready to take the kids to a theater just yet.
For sure.
And now, Minions, it's just like, people are like, no, the theaters are open. The children are insane. They're out of school. Help us. Let's go see Minions. Please let me ignore my children for 2 hours. They are monsters.
Lightyear left me with the question, is it for children? Because I'm still not sure based on the promotions.
It's for everybody. It's for everybody that enjoys a
It's like
movie
these
within a
hands.
movie that's based on a time and a place and a person that
And a
hasn't happened but will happen. But hasn't
For
yet
the doll
because
that
of
you
the
know.
cartoon, and then there's a doll, and Tim Allen is angry.
Lightyear
Anyway,
is just like these hands. Rated E for everyone.
hey, you want to talk about some very large video game news?
Let's talk about some very large video game news.
Sort of the rise of Gru of video games, if you will.
I would love to hear about the rise of Gru of video games.
It's sort of like the rise of Gru of video games, and it's called God of War Ragnarok, or should I say Gru of War Ragnarok.
Rise of Gru Ragnarok.
God of War Ragnarok got its release date this morning.
Very exciting.
We now know that Ragnarok is coming on November 9th. And it came with a fancy new trailer and details about all the fancy editions that you could buy. Oh, we love a fancy edition.
Look, that looks great. That does look excellent. That's a fantastic promotional image.
I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah, of 2022.
Of 2022. This is a shot from this new trailer. Let's take a look. This is not gameplay. This is what they're calling a CG trailer.
When you are at your weakest.
When fear and doubt are a burden too heavy to bear.
Remember this. You are not alone.
Rated M for mature.
That looks really good.
It looks really good.
Oh, roll that intro one more time. That looks incredible, and I am somebody who has not previously played God of War. But that November date does make me go, no, I've got time.
You've got time.
I've got
and it's on the
time
PC
still.
now. You don't even
Right.
have to plug in your PS5.
Thank goodness.
They released some still shots from the trailer, and
That's beautiful.
they look amazing, because why wouldn't they look amazing? Oh, that's fun. They're all their own link.
perfect. Thank you very much,
Thanks,
PlayStation
Sony.
Blog. Very cool.
Thanks, PlayStation Blog. But they also announced some of the special editions that you're going to be able to get. Oh, the kids love a special edition.
The kids love to pay for a special edition.
Yeah, listen. Here's
Sony is the kids. Sony loves when we pay for a special edition, is what they're saying.
Here's what we're going to say. You know what we say on this show. And what we say on this show is you don't need to pre-order anything that's going to sell 1 billion copies. There are enough copies out there.
Absolutely. Especially for things like digital. Don't let them create false scarcity.
Also, you know, these special editions, really look at the quality of the stuff that comes with them and the things that come with them and decide whether you actually want this stuff. A lot of times, it do photograph nice.
Right.
And then you pull it out of the box and you're like, was this trash?
Is it going to sit in your entryway until you inevitably pawn it off on someone else?
One of my one of my favorite things that ever happened with a special edition is many, many years ago when Max Payne 3 came out, they sent us like the fancy Max Payne, and it came with a Max Payne statue, one of those statues, and we put it up, and it's one of those ones that was just like the hollow PVC vinyl, like a lot of these statues are. And the day we started putting it up, first Max had like kind of a cool lean.
Yeah.
And then by like day 5, Max was like,
help.
And then he was like Michael Jackson's Moonwalker.
Hey, that was pretty cool, actually.
And
That's
then
a feature, not a bug.
He just kept going down, and we were just like, go, Max, go. Get low, Max. But let's take a look at what comes in these special editions.
Okay.
In your standard edition, you're going to get, if you pre-order it, you will get Kratos Risen Snow armor. He is risen, like Gru.
Yes, of course.
And Atreus Risen Snow tunic. So here they are, in their dress whites, on their way to see minions.
Of course.
a couple
gentle minions.
They're on their way. So that's the standard edition. Or I'm sorry, that's the standard edition.
Launch edition.
The digital deluxe edition comes with a bit more. You get Darkdale armor.
Ooh.
And then Darkdale tunic for Atreus. Ooh. You get blades and axe grips. You get a digital mini art book from Dark Horse, and then you get the Avatar set, a PlayStation 4 theme, and the digital soundtrack. Digital art books, digital art books were NFTs before NFTs were NFTs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
It's like, look, I have a digital art book. It's like, you got JPEGs on your PlayStation? You can't get them off? That sucks. Get those JPEGs off your PlayStation.
You can't.
God of War Ragnarok, the collector's edition.
Now, this is the one where you start getting those goodies that will sit in your entryway until you inevitably give them away to somebody. But I will say, as far as those go, these are pretty cool.
You get the Steelbook display case. Now, remember, there is no game. There's no disc. But you get a box, so you can put it on your shelf and be like, I own God of War. This is a trend lately that I don't understand, Saige. And if anybody in the live studio audience does this or understands it, please let me know. Getting the cases for discs that don't exist.
No.
It's a big deal lately.
Right.
You go to a store, you buy a disc, you buy a game that has a physical release, and you open it up, and half the time it's got a digital download code in it. I get the idea of being a completionist and wanting like boxes for all your games on your, but not so much where there is no game that I want a box for no game.
Yeah, like with the metal cases or the steel ones, part of me is like, okay, I guess not making the disc is more environmentally friendly.
I mean, let's not give them that credit. I mean, I know you're right.
I'm correct though.
Yeah, you're
so, like,
right.
It is. I'm not saying that's why they're doing it.
No.
I'm saying that's a plus.
It is a plus. But I think half the reason people do physical over digital these days is so like their game can't disappear.
Right.
But this is just like it gone disappear, and it's all of the frustration of back when things were on discs and losing a disc, but
Yeah.
you never had the disc to begin with.
Right.
You remember when you were like, you would open up and you'd be like, okay, you open up Assassin's Creed and there's like a Gears of War disc, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
So you open up Gears of War and there's a GTA disc, and you're like, okay. And then you open up GTA and there's nothing, and you're like, fuck, where's Assassin's Creed?
Yeah. I miss it. So you get a 16-inch Mjolnir replica.
I wonder what
you
that's
get-
made out of.
I also wonder what that's made out of, and that information is not on here. You can see if it's somewhere else on the blog.
I'm trying to zoom in. It feels like it might be that good hollow party store plastic.
I'm guessing it's going to be, yeah. The two veneer twin carvings, Vanner twins.
That's kind of cool. Now, Saige, what's that over there? What are they? Are they marketing to Sages now?
It feels like they might be a little bit. So here's what's interesting to me. Did they show all of the dice here, or is one die left in the bag? Because there is no D20 in that set.
There's a little lump.
There is a lump, but why would you leave just the D20 in there? What a strange way! No, what a strange way to do this. I don't understand.
You'll see the D20 when you get it.
Sense of all the dice. Why would you leave the fucking D12 in there? I don't know what to tell you. Or did they not? Is it not D&D dice, which is not
No, it's definitely gonna have a D20. I think they're hiding it for one of two reasons. Either number one, to make it spicy, make you go, ooh, I wonder what that D20...
It's not special. It's going to look the exact same.
Or number two, design not finished.
But it's just like the D12, but more.
Yeah. Now, you're going to get the same digital stuff. You're going to get the Darkdale armor. You're going to get the Darkdale axe grip. You're going to get the Darkdale attire. You're going to get the art book. You're going to get the avatar set, all of the digital stuff. Now, the one thing you might notice is all of these special editions do not... Oh, Jason White.
Very cool of you.
Very cool of you. Now, remember, we normally don't stop down for donations or bits until the end of the show.
Sometimes we get distracted.
But sometimes we get a little distracted. And I just want you to know that we're seeing everything that comes in. And we will do a big roundup at the end of the show. Now, you don't get that dress white attire unless you pre-order early digitally. Everything else comes with Darkdale, except for the early pre-order that comes with the white. This is pre-orders. This is pre-orders, baby.
Okay, we've got the Jotnar edition, or Jotnar?
Jotnar.
That should be? Yeah.
Probably
Jotnar. That would make a lot more sense. So that has everything in the last pack, but the dice are showing a D20.
And they're white, because they're Brock's dice set. They are not the Dwarven dice set. So you get a white dice. You get the legendary Dropnir ring. You get the Vanir kids. The Vanir kids.
You know, the kids.
Little Vanirs. You get a Falcon Baron Wolf pin set. You get a little. Oh, you get this. You get the Bear McCreary God of War theme on vinyl, which is kind of cool.
Which is cool. It's a green vinyl. It's pretty. I'm a sucker for a colored vinyl.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. That's pretty nice.
The vinyl's pretty nice. We don't have prices for any of these yet, I believe.
No, they want you to like them.
Yeah. Sit with that for a while. Go, oh, that's the one I want. And then they'll tell you the prices in a couple months. And you'll be like, fuck, the one that I want's that much?
Oh, and then the all the big boy editions come with they come in a box that looks like one of the Knowledge Keeper shrines from the God of War game, which is
I will
cool.
say they're definitely cardboard boxes.
Yeah, that's definitely a cardboard box. Do not be fooled. So there you go. That's all the news about God of War.
Very exciting.
I'm not, like I said, I'm not a special edition guy. I'm not a pre-order guy. I think if I see one thing in all of those sets that makes me kind of interested, and it's like the Bear McCreary vinyl. I like those. I like the theme. But that's the sort of thing where, like, okay, what I'll do is I'll buy the game, and when they eventually release a full soundtrack, either I Am 8-Bit releases it or Mondo or something, maybe I'll look into that. But I'm not a big, not a lot of that stuff gets me too hype.
Same, yeah.
And I love God of War. I'm just like, it all just looks like I'm trying to get rid of trinkets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, tchotchkes.
I've had so many tchotchkes, and I'm just trying to get rid of them, and I just more tchotchkes keep coming in.
I know, because you keep asking me if I want them.
Yeah. Do you want any tchotchkes?
I want any tchotchkes.
I know.
But that's all right. In other big game news, a remake for Lollipop Chainsaw was announced for next year.
Yes!
This is a very strange announcement. It's one of those things that so many people are excited for, but I've never seen a single person ask for. We shouldn't think about it.
Honestly, I was thinking about Lollipop Chainsaw as I was watching Peacemaker.
Ah, that makes sense.
As I was watching Peacemaker, I was like, and No More Heroes 3 came out and was underwhelming. I was like, man, I think peak Suda was probably Lollipop Chainsaw. Suda and James Gunn working together, so good. It introduced the world to Jessica Negri, really. It put her on the map. She was the official Juliet Starling. Do you remember this?
No.
The first time I met Jessica Negri, she was dressed as Juliet Starling from Lollipop Chainsaw.
That makes perfect sense.
She was their official cosplayer for Lollipop Chainsaw. It was pretty awesome. Now, So I'm very excited, but there's an asterisk.
So, James Gunn put out a tweet.
She does all the time.
Constantly, will literally tell you anything if you just ask. Said to answer the question in the article, neither I nor Suda are currently involved in this. I heard about it for the first time from Suda a couple of weeks ago. Also clarified, I neither endorse nor condemn it. I simply don't know anything about it, but articles are starting to pop up and slap our names on there. So I think it is important to make it clear that no one approached us about it.
Now, this is interesting because, you know, when you think about a theatrical re-release of a movie or a Blu-ray getting a 4K release or something like that, directors are not always consulted.
They already directed the movie. You're really just, upscaling it.
Yeah, sometimes a director gets to oversee the transfer and the color transfer and things like that, and that's cool, but it's not, it's considered a luxury. Now, I think this hits us the wrong way with games because without the oversight of the original creators. Now, this is being made by Dragami Games, and I'd have to look them up. I don't remember anything they've done off the top of my head, but we do tend to wonder if we're going to get something that's like the GTA Definitive Edition, right? Something that's like the Mario Collection, where it's like the Mario 3D All-Stars, where it's like, okay, it's all right.
Yeah, I think creators and directors of a game have to be involved because it comes down to everything from like remapping controls for newer controllers and, understanding what now the involvement of like haptic feedback is going to be like in a game. Like more than just upscaling visually, as they should also have an input in what that visuals looks like. There's a big change when it comes to porting over games and remastering games.
Yeah.
So the thing that gave me the biggest question mark was not, we're not involved. Busy people. Sure. It's James Gunn.
Sure.
We were not approached about this. Was very surprising to me.
Yeah. And here's the thing.
Why wouldn't you even ask?
Suda's got a minute. You know what I mean? Like
Suda's
got a minute to take a look at it, you know? James may be a little busy right now, but Suda's got a minute. And Suda knows about what it takes to port a game.
Yeah.
He is a game developer. You'd think you'd want him to, but I think that's the thing is like, this sounds like something where they're thinking this is a nice, easy layup.
Yeah.
We upscale this game, we put it out, maybe we do the AI upscaling on some textures, make sure they don't look too horrible.
Yeah.
And just throw it out there, and it's an easy win because James Gunn is so hot right now.
But here's the thing. I'm sure from like a legal perspective, James Gunn has no essentially right to be involved, right? I'm sure that this is all contractually correct and legal.
Well, he's sort of like Jokin Roken Token.
Yeah.
He's sort of like the GRRM with the Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Where he wrote the game and he did have input into the game and he worked with Suda, but like Suda to this day still does not speak any English. It's sort of one of those things where like they weren't sitting in a room together hashing this out. James Gunn was writing American dialogue and figuring out American names for these characters, and Suda was putting them into an idea that he already had. So what I find very interesting about him saying that they weren't approached by them at all is like, man, it sure would have saved you a little press to send an email. That's the thing, because now this is the headline, right?
Yeah.
And there's no reason for this to be the headline. I think they were trying to...
It could all be super kosher for them to not be involved if there was just like a little,
I think the reason they didn't do it...
We didn't have time.
I think the reason they didn't do it... I think James Gunn would have been like, oh, cool, neat. I'm glad more people get to play it. That's great. But I think if they had asked Suda...
Yeah.
They would have had to bring Suda on. They would have had to pay Suda, and Suda would have had to have some sort of creative control. And I think that's what they were trying to avoid. And now that is the headline in the story.
Ooh.
That's the issue to me.
Whatever amount you would have paid for Suda to be involved, I wonder, how that balances out with
probably not well.
The press.
Probably not well. Because here's the thing. Suda fans... People who love Suda games love...
You can't just walk into a store and buy Suda fans.
You can't just... No, you have to, if you buy Suda fans at a store, they keep your name. And if you go to another store, they check to see if you're a Suda fan.
Yeah.
And you can't be a Suda fan more than once in any town for 2 weeks. Now, if you are a Suda fan, you want a Suda game that's worked on by him. He's like a Kojima, or he's one of those auteurs where it's like, No, I want to know that this has the gold star, the stamp of approval
Yeah.
from Goichi Suda.
Yeah.
Now what?
The Suda
Now
stamp.
The Suda stamp.
We're looking for the Suda stamp. So again, nobody seems upset about this. Based on the tweets that were posted, it doesn't seem like it is an issue between them.
Well,
this was not even a complaint that they lobbied. They were just like, I just genuinely couldn't tell you anything about it.
Has Suda gone on the record about it yet?
There was a tweet and was just like echoing James Gunn's statement. Was like, yes, we're not involved.
Huh. Okay.
Where did it go?
I mean,
there's my link.
I mean, if Suda's cool with it, then like, I guess I'm chill with it. Seems weird.
Yeah, Suda said, to add my 2 cents, like James Gunn says, neither he nor I am involved in this project at all, and Grasshopper Manufacturing has nothing to do with the development or anything.
Okay, so he didn't editorialize at all. He just said, we're not making
no
it.
Opinion whatsoever.
Very
just literally
political tweet, Mr. Suda.
Interesting.
Very Suda. More like Rise of Gruda. I mean, I love Lollipop Chainsaw. I'll probably play the remake.
Yeah.
But like, I'm going to wait on reviews. I'm going to wait to see if they mess it up.
I'll play it.
Yeah? Did you play it the first time?
Very little.
Oh, you're going to love it. It's
very,
so good.
very little.
She keeps her boyfriend's zombie head on her belt.
Yeah.
And he's just a himbo that loves her.
It is definitely one of those that I played on someone else's console.
Yeah. No, I owned it. I own every Suda game multiple times over. Listen, dude gets a little icky, and it's a problem. It's a problem. But when he's not being icky, I think he is one of the most hilarious and creative people in games.
It's wild how often people say that about men.
Yeah, isn't it?
Anyways.
I'll tell you what, James Gunn made him less icky. Lollipop Chainsaw was way less icky
Which is
than a
wild,
Suda
considering
game.
you could say the exact same thing about James Gunn.
Yeah.
You could have that exact same description for James Gunn.
Yeah.
Interesting. Anyways. Let's talk about GTA 6.
Oh, we doing remakes, BBs. We're talking about remakes and remasters and sequels.
GTA Definitive Edition, of course, released.
Good.
It was a perfect release. I don't think there was anything wrong with it, really. People loved it, right?
There was a speed run on Games Done Quick this year of San Andreas, I think.
Ooh.
And they had the audience vote. The money poll was regular or definitive edition. And regular edition was ahead for a very long time. And then a few people who really get things were like, I'm going to give a lot of money and you're going to play the definitive edition.
Ooh.
And it was so good to watch. That game sucks.
Just cars flying into space.
It looks like
people talking to people from inside their jaws.
You remember when that
I put my entire head in your jaw and speak to you that way.
You remember when that guy made a Squid Game in Unity in 3 days?
Yeah.
It's got those vibes. It's got this was made in dreams vibes, you know?
Here's the thing, Anthony and I both love broken games. I have no complaints about this, to be honest.
Honestly,
this is kind of ideal to me.
My problem is that they've been fixing it along the way. Cowards!
Game bugs are funny, and they're fun.
I want the 1.0 version. You deal with what you've made, and you let me have it. I want 1.0 of Cyberpunk. I want 1.0 of the GTA Definitive Edition.
Yes.
If you fucked up your game, you have to let monsters like me
That's the
play
rules.
it.
There's 2 rules. The first one is
inside of you are 2 monsters. And they have rules.
Let's just talk about the game.
If you make a bad game, people like Saige and I get to play it forever.
That's allowed.
That's allowed. And the other 8 million people that you wanted to buy the game, they're not going to buy it.
And that's your fault. You made a bad game.
You have us now, and we love you. Sorry, but we're all you get. Anyway.
Some leaks have come through from the Rockstar camp. Obviously, none of this can be confirmed as they are leaks. But it would seem right now that based on the reception of the Grand Theft Auto Definitive Edition collection, they might be pushing the work on a little bit of GTA 6. They might be like, ooh, we thought that was going to actually buy us a little bit of time. And it does seem like they are shifting their focus to push GTA 6 through a little bit faster, which means shelving Red Dead Redemption for the moment.
Now, the Red Dead Redemption and GTA 4 remakes were never confirmed, but we could assume.
Yeah.
We could assume that they were coming, especially because they have that very good engine they used for Definitive Edition. You know, the idea is we remake these early games.
Yeah.
We come up with the process and the technology to port these early games, and then
We apply it to all these other games.
Apply it to all these other games. You made games for me and Saige, and now you better start working on that new game.
Give us, yeah.
You better start. Now,
But don't put other things on that engine, unless you just want it for us. We'll take it.
Listen, we'll take it and we'll love it. Nom.
I never played Red Dead Redemption. I generally dislike the cowboy aesthetic.
Same.
It's not my thing. And I also think that there's certain types of violence in Red Dead Redemption that are a little uncomfortable for me personally.
Yes.
It's not the relaxing gaming experience that I am looking for. But
it's no Calico.
If you make it broken like the Definitive Edition, I might be in. It might lessen the effects of the violence on me.
If horse fly up in sky,
that's pretty funny.
I'll play game.
The humor might balance.
I'll play game.
Yeah.
John Marsden just eyeballs and hat. I'll play game. But yeah, I'm not a cowboy person either. Cowboys and army men are not my things.
Not the vibe.
Not the vibe for me. The cowboy aesthetic and the cowboy color palette, the washed out color palette is not for me. And then also, like you're saying, there's a speed and an awkwardness because they're trying to get that 1800s loose gunplay vibe to it, and I'm just like, and also, can we just please talk about how no matter how intense and huge they make all the technology in all of these Rockstar games, the shooting and the walking around is still just so kludgy. Even in GTA 5, where everybody's like, oh, the Definitive Edition is going to get the updated GTA 5 controls, and I'm like, fuck, who's going to update the GTA 5 controls, though?
I will say, I think GTA 5 controls very well.
It controls fine, but it's still like...
It's very unique to GTA 5.
Yes.
In comparison to a lot of things, it is a completely different system, but I don't think it is a bad system. The aiming, is primarily assist in GTA 5.
It just feels slow, and Red Dead Redemption is even slower. Red Dead Redemption, because they want you to level up how good a cowboy you is.
Yeah.
And so you're playing the first hours of Red Dead Redemption, you're just like, I'm going to shoot now.
Yeah.
I can't climb. And the other thing is, as amazing as these Rockstar engines are, no one can climb a ladder or duck or lean up against anything. They still have the cover system of an Xbox, an original Xbox 360 game.
Yeah.
It's still I didn't want to lean up against that, Ray Liotta, but I guess I'm leaning up against that now. Thanks, Ray Liotta. Can we get up from there? Shot in the head. I don't know.
Yeah.
And also, I don't want to shoot real people in a real world.
I agree with that. We're at a time now where GTA 5 came out in 2013. And I gotta say, my opinion about playing it was pretty different at the time. My lived experience in the world was a little less terrifying.
Yeah.
So, with that in mind, it's going to be trickier this time around.
The only open world game that I ever really liked, that sort of crimey boy open world game that I ever liked, was Sleeping Dogs.
Yeah.
Because Sleeping Dogs was more it was Hong Kong cinema.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is cool. I can get into this because you can hit people with a fish. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
that's what I want.
That is fun.
You can date Emma Stone and go to karaoke and hit people with a fish, and that's a good game.
I agree with Not the Lysander in the chat. Said GTA shooting always sucked. Just give me the driving and the cars. And that was kind of the thing, is shooting was unimportant to me in a GTA game, but it didn't, I didn't find it an issue generally because it was one of the least important parts of it for me.
Yeah.
But I was 17 when GTA 5 came out.
Yeah. Me too.
And the shooting, the realism of it might be a little tough because also games are getting more and more realistic looking.
Now, we got a couple I Ate Your Pudding Cup in the live studio audience says Red Dead 2 is one of the best controlling games I ever played. I liked the slow, deliberate nature of it. It feels very realistic. That's dope. And if it's for you, it's for you. Did it feel realistic when you were trying to climb that ladder? That's my question. And then Aggressive Text says, I think guns always make games less fun, and that's a hard opinion to have and play a lot of games. That's true.
I agree, Aggressive Text.
Particularly if you want to play AAA games.
Yep. Absolutely. The thing that I had found, and what's such a bummer about Blizzard being such an absolute garbage, trash fire, piece of shit, terrible company that we'll never play a game from again, is I was a big Overwatch fan because Overwatch didn't feel that way.
No.
Overwatch never felt violent. It didn't.
No.
The guns that you're like little laser beams, it doesn't feel that way.
Smart gorilla.
Yeah.
You got a robot hamster in a ball.
Exactly.
There's enough silliness there where it's like, and I think, honestly, can I tell you, I think that's one of the things that nobody talks about with games like Fortnite and Apex that are really behind a lot of the success of Fortnite and Apex, is I think a lot of people do have this realistic military fatigue, particularly younger people who have grown up in a world where it's a lot more violence is talked about on the news. Gun violence has been talked about on the news, and guns are a lot less cool to them. I think it's way better for them when they play something like a Fortnite where it's like, this gun isn't real. I'm a tomato man.
Right.
You know? And I think that's something that we don't talk about enough with stuff like that.
I agree. And I think that that's a very good point, that it makes it very difficult to love and play games right now, which is also why Anthony and I are such proponents of indie games.
Yes.
We love talking about indie games. We love playing indie games because it does make it a little tricky if you're not looking for something that's like kind of brutally violent to play AAA at this time.
Yeah, I have no interest in propping up the military-industrial complex or playing a game that's like, listen, I know a lot of writers who work on a lot of these big games because you got to get paid, you got to make money, you got to live your life,
secure the bag,
and so they're trying to write in these stories where it's like, but are we the good guys? And it's like, you can write that story in as much as you want, but the game is telling me that I'm the good guy.
Yeah.
You know, and there's nothing you can do around that. And I just don't like it. So
I'm
we do
such
like
a kind of white guy.
we do like indie games.
We love indie games in this house.
And we love it when indie game developers come together to do some good. And a place where they do that very often is on itch.
Hey, and they have done it once again. You may have previously picked up bundles for the Black Lives Matter movement. You may have picked one up for Palestine. You may have picked ones up for the trans legal funds.
The Ukraine bundle.
Right. They have done so many incredible bundles that have raised so much money for incredible organizations, and they have done it once again with over 700 games for abortion funds. Currently, they are at $200,000, which has just exceeded their goal. I believe this dropped yesterday, I want to say.
Yeah, this is pretty new, yeah.
This is pretty new. So if you're not familiar with itch.io, itch.io is a browser-based, like Steam alternative, essentially, but it's much more expansive than just video games. You can get things like manga on there. You can get, music. You can get almost anything. There's a lot of art, zines.
Tabletop stuff.
The indie TTRPGs on itch are so good. If you ever watched my show Playtest Pals, almost all of those were pulled from itch.io.
Just looking at the front page of this sale right now, I can show you some things that are worth whatever. I mean, this is basically a $10 bundle. There are 700 games, 800 games.
Yep.
Here's what's up. Desktop Goose is hilarious.
Yeah.
Procrastination, great. A Mortician's Tale, an indie darling and a favorite.
Excellent.
The Ground itself is a beautiful, beautiful tabletop RPG. Wander Home is also a great one. Glitter Hearts is a great one. Glitter Hearts is a magical girl transformation TTRPG.
Glitter Hearts is fantastic. It was one of the first things I ever bought on itch.io.
Islands is vibes for days.
Yeah.
Carl Burton's Islands is amazing. Windowsill is an indie classic. All of these are great. All of these are worth $10 on their own.
Yeah.
Hypnospace Outlaw, if you haven't played it. Calico is there.
We already talked about Calico once today.
The Floor is Jelly. A lot of really great stuff. And then you can see they're putting other things in here too. Journal. It's a daily journaling tool. Like there are so many cool little things. $10, 800 games. Supports abortion funds.
Yep.
And we are now also in the final day, I think the final 12 hours of the Queer Games bundle.
For Pride Month.
Which also has a bunch of amazing, amazing games here up just right on the front. Are you looking at under maintenance characters?
I'm looking at under maintenance characters.
There are a lot of dating sims. The nice thing about the Queer Games bundle is that obviously it's from queer developers, but also games that have queer characters, queer themes, things like that. Things like
That one's name is Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Mr. Steal Your Girl, Cat Girl Truckers, Be Gay with a Cat Girl, Do Petty Crime, Dungeons.
I say this to people every day. Every day, every morning before the show, I text Anthony, would you like to be gay with a cat girl and do petty crime?
I'm like, yeah. Actually, yes.
Yeah.
Dungeons and Day Jobs is great. Pippi's Ultimate Quest for Friendship and Lessons. All of these games are very, very good. Whistling Wolf Cafe is a cafe sim card and dice game for 2 to 4 players where you like run your own little cafe.
Yes.
We went to see Cats.
We did.
We went to see Cats and at the Alamo, and they gave us little ears. We've seen Cats in the theater many, many times now.
Anyways, be gay with a cat girl.
Be gay with a cat girl. So both of these bundles are up. Now, the Queer Games bundle comes in 2 editions. There is the suggested donation edition, where you get 588 games for $60. But there's also a pay what you can edition, which is the same bundle, but you can get it for $10 minimum. So it's basically like, they'd love it if you had 60 to support all the developers and give to the charities.
Yeah.
But you can get it for a minimum of 10 if that's what you got.
And that is the difference between some of these bundles. Some of them are about benefiting the creators because those are made by queer developers. That makes perfect sense. And some of them are creators volunteering their games so that more money can go to the charities. So
both of these are good bundles. Think about picking up both of them if you can. You know, it's lovely to see selfless developers, Saige, but you know what we see so much more often?
what?
A real son of a bitch selfish developer.
That's true. You're right.
Look, yesterday was the 26th anniversary of Nights into Dreams for the Sega Saturn, one of my top 5 favorite games of all times, the game that I often credit with making me a lover of video games. And its creator, Yugi Naka, who most recently made Balan Wonderworld, put out a tweet saying, "Happy birthday, Knights. 26 years ago, Knights was announced at this Sega Saturn software presentation. Bomberman and Enemy Zero were announced together," which I guess he means as well. "I've recently been flying an FPV drone in the sky that looks like Knights," and he put a little picture of his drone. Now, this picture, though, if we go back, I mean, the drone is beautiful. Actually, let's look at the drone. Beautiful drone, and look, it's got a little knight's head on it.
Cute.
How whimsical. But if we could go backstage, there is something that I noticed about this photo.
It's also something I've noticed.
Naoto Oshima, the artist who created the look of Sonic the Hedgehog and Knights, along with, if you go,
I'm going.
Yeah, there it is. Has sort of, Naoto Oshima should be right next to Yuji Naka there in the front. Now, there's something you need to know. Yuji Naka, as we talked about before, is not a completionist gamer, and he has not unlocked Naoto Oshima yet. He hasn't finished the 150cc cup to unlock Naoto Oshima.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
Now, Yuji Naka was most recently in the news for suing Square.
Yeah.
For throwing him off of Balan Wonderworld 6 months before the game was done.
And now Balan Wonderworld did come out very poorly and was very poorly received. And it's hard to say whether that is because Yuji Naka was removed from it or if it was going so poorly that they had to remove Yuji Naka from it to try and make it releasable.
Now, what we do know is that he has specifically named his old buddy, Naoto Oshima, as somebody who suggested he be fired. Naoto Oshima said, if you want this game done, fire Yuji Naka. Now,
Awkward.
a little awkward, but as much as Yuji Naka has this kind of cuddly appearance now, right around the 2006 era when he left Sega, he was known for being a real fucker.
Yeah.
A real fucker. He basically said he made all 3 Sonic games himself. Like, he's on record saying that. Like, oh yeah, and there was one guy who did like a little bit of like some level map stuff, but he wasn't really important. That guy he designed all of the maps and levels for Sonic and left and became one of the most prolific level designers in the industry. He had everything to do with Sonic. He also, there's a story in this article that talks about this tweet. He was basically he was basically the reason we had no Sonic game in 32 bits, because he came over to the American studio where they were trying to work on Sonic Extreme, and he said, "Oh no, Sonic Team makes Sonic games. What are these guys doing?" And they're like, "Well, you're working on Knights, so we're just trying to get something started." He's like, "No, this is trash. They can't have it." Then they tried to use the Knights engine. Then they tried to use their own engine. He was like, "No, it's still trash, whether they use my technology or not. They cannot make a game." During the Dreamcast era, he came over to one of the American teams that was developing for the Dreamcast. This is fucking wild, though. I know I'm on one, but listen.
It's okay, buddy.
He came over, and there was a team that was working on something called Geist Force for the Dreamcast. It was going to be basically Sega's version of Star Fox. And it was like going really, really well. And everybody was really excited. They bring Yuji Naka over to look at it. Yuji Naka looks at it and begins speaking Japanese, thinking nobody on the Geist Force team can speak Japanese. And what he says in the room is, "This technology is pretty good. Fire all of the engineers except for one that knows how they built this engine. We're moving all of this technology over to Sonic Adventure." So nobody could use his baby boy engine, but he just straight up stole an engine from a new team. He didn't cancel the game because he didn't have the power to, but the developers who were there at the time were like, "He fired all of our engineers except for one, and then they took them, and nobody could help us finish the game, so the game got canceled. He left us to look bad."
Yuji Naka.
He's known for this.
More like Gruji Naka.
More like the rise of Gruji Naka. But he's also he's known for like just squeezing money out of Sega. During Sonic 3, they went on like a lot of research trips. Like, well, if we're gonna put a snowboarding level in this game about a cartoon hedgehog, we have to go snowboarding for 2 weeks.
And honestly, I'm in favor of that part.
When they were doing a racing game, he just started racing cars.
If you take your team, then I'm in.
Yeah. So Yuji Naka, when asked about this, I mean, a lot of people responded like, "Dude, this is pretty. What are you doing?" He was like, "Dude got me removed from the game, dude. So fuck him."
I did what I did.
Yeah. Lately, people have been posting like fan art. You know, people are always posting Sonic fan art, but a couple people have done like Sonic fan arts and tagged both Oshima, because he's the original artist who created the visual appearance of these characters, and Yuji Naka. And when they tag both of them, Yuji Naka will reply, "Hey, please repost and only tag me, please. I'd rather not retweet something that has Oshima tagged."
That's wild.
He is petty.
Watching old people fight on Twitter is weird.
He's so weird. Now listen, Oshima, of course, left Sega to start Artest, which became Arzest games, or Artoon, which became Arzest, and they're known for like, you hand a game over to them because you don't care about it, and it comes out as one metric game. So I don't believe that Artest could have done a great job with Balan Wonderworld.
Sure.
But man, Yuji Naka must have been fucking shit up, huh?
Yeah.
Yuji Naka, please be good. Please be good. Get over your shit and please be good.
We need Sonic's dad to be good. Mario's dad has been so good.
He's been so good. We need both of Sonic's dads to be good and get along with each other. I need this because Knights is very important to me. Be good.
Okay. All right. Hey, Anthony, I think I've got something that'll cheer you up. Okay, bud?
Okay. Is it a new Burning Rangers?
I know you've been talking about getting into Final Fantasy 14.
I have. They have a Shibas now.
They have Shibas now, and also there's a big event coming in Final Fantasy 14. You always say that you miss the big events, and that's part of why you haven't played it.
Is it time for a big event?
You've got 3 days to prepare for a big event in Final Fantasy XIV.
Is that enough time?
Yeah, that's enough time.
Okay. What's the big event?
It's the Rain Nightclub Summer Bash with a DJ. It's a not safe for work nightclub summer bash that purchased an actual real-life billboard to promote the event that they were having at their virtual nightclub.
The nightclub is fake?
Yes.
It's in Final Fantasy?
Yes.
And it's for groans?
It's for groans.
What happens at nightclub for groans in Final Fantasy XIV?
You know, I'll admit I've never been into one, but I have been into VR chat, so I've got a pretty good idea.
But like, VR chat is basically like, I could make my avatar a dick monster made of dicks.
Yeah.
You can't do that in Final Fantasy XIV. They have control over. Okay. So what do you... Are there emotes that people use to... How do they...
If you've never seen the Second Life documentary that the OWN network did, it's on Netflix, I believe.
It's so good.
It's so good.
There is nothing better than watching panic around Second Life or virtual communities.
God, it's so good.
And you know why the Oprah Winfrey Network did that documentary, right?
No.
So they were doing like live events in Second Life, and it was like a big deal.
Yes, I know that she had previously done some.
Yes, and in one of the live events that Oprah did.
Oh, was that the Dick Swarm?
That's the Dick Swarm.
That was the Dick Swarm. It was one of Oprah's events. That's right.
So giant dicks started flying overhead, but then there were
I forgot that it was an Oprah event.
There
I
were
remember
gift boxes.
Yeah.
And when you opened the gift box, a giant waving, waggling dick would come out, and that dick would explode into more dicks, and it was exponential like tribbles.
Yeah.
And somebody did it at an Oprah Winfrey event.
I forgot that it was an Oprah event. There is an episode of One Time on the Internet on it that is both available here on our VODs, I believe. It should be highlighted, and as a podcast. We talked all about that. But this is very much in that vein. We all know that like adult things are happening. In Final Fantasy XIV, they're happening in all of these online worlds, these virtual worlds. And this is so funny. These people are most likely, if they haven't already been, going to get banned for this for sure. Buying a billboard, at least from the information I have, ancillary, is like $4,000. So they spent thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Look.
To put up this looks like it's made on blingy billboard. It looks like a MySpace page.
I love it.
It's so funny.
I do have a million questions now, Saige, about what goes down at one of these parties. And I guess now I'm going to have to download the client for the critically acclaimed Final Fantasy XIV, along with its expansion, Heavensward.
Yeah.
Now,
it's on Saturday, and it starts at, 8 p.m. CST. So we could probably pop in after Damsels.
Now, so it lists, so the Rain Nightclub website, here we go, lists erotic role-playing services, and the billboard fails to mention that the event could be age-restricted. There are 4 of these billboards. These billboards are in California and Texas.
Is it somewhere we could go see it?
Oh, the Rain Nightclub site is down. It says temporarily turning this thing off until things calm down.
Yikes.
They're getting too much hype. What's that Discord? Give me that Discord link.
Yeah. Discord.gg/Rain Nightclub.
All right. I might check that out. So far, nobody from the Rain Nightclub has publicly announced that they've been banned, and the Summer Bash event still appears to be on. Data center travel, however, was temporarily put on hold due to its immense popularity, which means if you're not part of the realm that Rain Nightclub is in, you can't transfer to that realm because too many people are trying to transfer to that hot bunny party.
Come on, I'm a little cat girl, let me in.
I'm a little cat girl, let me in.
Hey. Rain Nightclub.
That's never not worked, by the way.
Rain Nightclub. I'm a little cat girl. Let me in.
I'm a little cat girl. Let me in. Has that ever not worked?
No. I'm just a little cat girl.
I'm just a little cat girl. Just let me in. So Naoki Yoshida, who of course is the producer on Final Fantasy, wrote a stern blog post back in May to say that they prohibit UI mods. They also prohibit character mods, which a lot of these, that bunny girl outfit is a character mod.
Yes.
So they're saying like, hey, you're not allowed to do this. If we find out you do this, you're going to get banned.
I'm not looking, so I bet when I turn around, you won't be doing it anymore, right?
Yeah. I wonder if the whole thing, like, what if it turns into like a big Final Fantasy 14 Fed sting trap? Like, they know that it's going to go down, and so they wait for everybody to get in the nightclub, and all of a sudden a bunch of cops in chocobos ride in with lances, and they're like, all of your characters are getting banned.
Damn. That'd be wild.
I wish that was the way bans had to happen in role-playing
Like
games.
big raids like that? Yeah.
Like, instead of just a message that says you've been banned, I wish, like, a thematic officer had to come and ban you.
Yeah, I think somebody rolling in on a chocobo with a baton is probably the better way to get banned from Final Fantasy.
Yeah, like in World of Warcraft, which nobody should play and nobody does play because fuck Blizzard. But that's right, I said it. Nobody does play it, and don't send me any data because I know I'm right. Because fuck Blizzard. Like a griffin flies down. Like somebody flies down on a griffin and hands you a scroll that's like, you fucked. Yeah.
Then you get the ban notice across the screen.
You open up the scroll of deuces.
Yeah.
And it just fucking removes you.
Just a giant middle finger on a scroll. That's it. Man.
I want to... So... Okay,
I want to see this billboard. I want to know where it is.
As a new player... Don't I get to choose my realm?
Yes, but you have to choose a realm at the beginning, but what they're saying is they're making it so you can't choose that one.
It says realm travel. I wonder if I could choose it. I'm gonna put a little research into this. I'm gonna do a little research, and we're gonna see if we can go to the sexy chocobo party.
I'd like to go to the sexy chocobo party.
Look, if we can go to the sexy chocobo party, kids, we're gonna do it. We're absolutely going to go to the sexy chocobo party.
They're calling it the Choke Me Bow party.
The Choke Me Bow party.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. That was good. No, that was very good. The Benjack says a full realm is full. But is it full, or are they just not allowing transfer? This is what we must know.
Yeah, this one isn't full. They've stopped people from entering into it to try and keep this party from getting out of hand.
Well, we got to find out. More updates on the sexy chocobo party as they happen. In other games that are coming out, Saige, that we've been waiting for.
Yeah.
Splatoon 3.
Yeah.
Coming soon. No adult activities in Splatoon 3. None. For the number of tentacles there are in Splatoon 3.
It is a perfectly PG game.
It's coming out on September 9th, as we all know.
Yeah.
But on August 26th, Saige.
Yes, Anthony.
You can get yourself a little something special for the Squid Kid in you.
So my Switch is already a Splatoon Switch, but it's not this thematic. Mine just has the colored,
Yours has the
pink and the green.
Yeah, I have that one as well. I have pink. No, I just have the Joy-Cons. I have the pink and green Joy-Cons. But this
I have
is
the
nice.
pink and green Joy-Cons, but that was the only difference. I got a carrying case that is also Splatoon themed.
Will you enhance on that?
Zoom and enhance?
Let's enhance. Now this is they've been doing these, the custom docks and like the Joy-Cons, the Switch itself. I don't see, is there a picture of the back of the Switch? Sometimes they put something nice on the back of the Switch itself. Yes, there it is.
Yeah, that's nice.
I mean, this is cool. Oh, look at the back of the Joy-Cons with the little suckers.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
This is a very good. I like this.
They also have a Pro controller.
Okay. I never really liked the custom Pro controllers. I don't think the Pro controller looks good with the colored grips.
I like the look of this Joy-Con.
No, the Joy-Cons are great.
From the front, I like the ombre that they did on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I don't like?
Deem me, Bella.
I don't like the splat.
I mean, the splat's sort of what it's all about.
This is not doing it for me.
Oh, you mean like on the dock
itself? I don't like
itself?
this splat, yeah.
It's a little lazy. I think what I would have liked to have seen if you were going to do a splat, maybe move the splat over the Switch logo and give the Switch logo a little bit of color.
I could see that, because otherwise it just looks like I've got a little bit of ick on my Switch.
Yeah, I get why they went with this, but it 100%
makes sense. I am also,
It looks like you're taking a UV light to your Switch and you're finding something you shouldn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Point. Yeah.
It's just, it looks like,
Overall, I genuinely love this design. I
like,
really do.
I'm from the AAA guidebook and I'm here to rate your hotel.
Maybe if it wasn't green.
Whoa. Whoa.
You remember that show Room Raiders?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't date this squid kid.
No. What if it had been in like the purple color?
I think that's a little more UV than even the green.
Really?
Yeah, if it's like if it's that bright purple. I don't know.
The green's the problem for me. That just looks like snot.
Yeah. Well, I want to
What do you want? What do you want?
I never like the docks.
No.
I never like the docks for any of the custom Switches.
I like this dock other than the splat.
The only dock I've ever liked was the Animal Crossing one, and it doesn't go with the vibe of like my vibe.
Yeah, same.
But usually they do this thing where they do like the kind of screen printing like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I get why they do it. It's kind of subtle, and I get that it kind of comes off classy or whatever because it's subtle. But it never feels like, I don't know. The docks never feel special enough to me.
Okay. Personally, I like this one, sans snot splat.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty good. I agree the Pro Controller doesn't quite do it for me. The Pro Controller feels... it's strange because it doesn't match the other ones. So this one has like the blue and the green.
Well, it's because they make it out of this...
I get that it goes to blue up here, but I don't think that that's a well-matched color swap.
And they make it out of the soft touch plastic, which is different than the Joy-Cons, so the colors never match entirely.
Exactly.
And
that bothers me personally.
I just don't like the colored prongs on it because the colored prongs always look... They look so separate from the rest of the design.
I guess I would have preferred maybe the color in the center. Yeah.
Yeah, or
black
just,
grips.
Or just like, I don't know, all black and just do the, you know what I mean? Or do different colored buttons. They never do different colored buttons.
I like the print on it though.
You can tell that, so whereas like a Sony or a Microsoft is willing to go like all out on a custom controller.
Yeah.
You can really tell that Nintendo is like, what is the easiest, cheapest way
for us to customize this? Yeah.
And that's why that screen printing is always like, I don't know. It just, I don't like Nintendo's special edition stuff as much as I like Sony and Microsoft stuff, which is wild because a couple years ago I hated all of Microsoft's custom stuff because it was all still very like bro dude. Like,
it was giving dude bro dude.
It was just like how much neon and wireframe and could we put on it, you know?
Yeah. Well, you know, those are your opinions on. You gave it on PlayStation, on Xbox, and on Switch. What are your feelings on like a colored Intellivision? The big four.
Of course, I forgot Intellivision. I forgot the Amico.
Mm-hmm.
Did you forget about the Amico? You shouldn't have, because it's still coming.
Would you believe me if I told you that the Intellivision Amico, for some reason, is still in development? It only makes headlines to get dunked on. It only ever existed as a weird old guy idea, and yet he persisted.
So, if you're unfamiliar, if you don't remember this, because a lot of people, I think, have already forgotten about it, the Amico was... They were bringing back the Intellivision. They had multiple fundraising campaigns. Tommy Tallarico at one point from Video Games Symphony Live, just that jerkbot, was the CEO for a long time. The Intellivision was a first-gen console, famous for its hit games Baseball and Shark. And they were like
the original Intellivision.
And they're like, we're bringing back the Intellivision. It's going to be a cool family-only console for families.
It's got like weird Puritan console vibes.
Yeah.
Where they're just like, none of those blood, sex, and booze over here. This is for good, wholesome entertainment. So we put 2 iPods. We created a couple of little bit of MP3 players, and we attached them to a console, and those are your controllers.
So the idea is it would be games have to have free demos, games have to be for families, games have to make use of the specialized controllers, which have a screen on them. Now, when this happened, reviews of this preview software, of this preview hardware started coming out as people played it at events or heard about it, and it's basically like, It's running on an Android phone from 10 years ago. The controllers are laggy and weird and bad. And nobody knows who it's for. Like, why are you making your controllers look like iPhones when kids already play games on iPhones? Why can't I hook my iPhone to this? The whole thing reeked of a scam. You could buy like a Founders Edition and get like games, but they weren't games. You just got boxes for games like we've been talking about.
Yep.
People started looking into the money of this stuff, and it was a huge scam. They kept borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. They ran multiple fundraisers on multiple fundraising platforms. They would get banned from a platform and move to another platform.
Woof.
Tommy Tallarico apparently, and got a lot of his rich industry friends to invest in this thing. They made sure they all got paid first. They got their loans paid back first before they even started producing this console. And they got some like high interest rate short-term loans. Like, this was a scam for sure. But the new CEO says it's coming. Yeah, squirting. Never forget squirting. The new CEO says it's coming. The Amico is not dead. Don't worry. Everybody who wanted an Intellivision, which, as much as we're dunking on this thing, people backed it. A lot of people are going to be out of money. They backed this thing for $149, $200. And it is a lot of, like you were saying, older people with fond memories of the Intellivision. But there's nothing for them. There was nothing for them to begin with.
Nah.
I don't know why people backed this.
No, this is a landline dock with 2 Zunes.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all it is.
It looks like the control center for a fancy Japanese toilet. They apparently lost the Amico trademark, which is how you know a company's about to go under. And so IGN was like, hey, Phil Adam, new CEO, you got that trademark? And they got a screenshot back from Phil that said they filed for the trademark literally like the day IGN contacted them. So they're really trying to keep this thing going. I think they still have pre-orders and a fundraiser going. The last I had heard, they had gotten bailed out by a particularly vulture-y venture capitalist vulture.
Venture vultures. How many ventures could a vulture venture?
One sock cutter, he cut socks. 2 sock cutters, they cut socks. 3 sock cutters, they cut socks. 4 sock cutters, they cut socks. 5 sock cutters, they cut socks. 6 sock cut. Anyway, this sucks for people who backed it. I'm sorry for everybody who backed it.
This sucks.
A lot of these people who backed it are slightly older with fond memories of the Intellivision and aren't like core gamers as much as you would think. So,
As much as you would.
well, because you would think that it would be gaming collectors and core gamers that would want to get a revamped Intellivision. But it's a lot of people, I think, that a lot of people that back this thing know enough about tech to like, maybe they own one of those like NES minis or something like that. And they thought this was going to be that sort of thing. And so I'm sorry for everybody who lost their money, but why would you believe that Tommy Tallarico could be the CEO of a company? You're just like, well, Tommy Tallarico, he wrote the music for Alien versus Predator versus RoboCop versus Terminator on the Genesis. So why couldn't he run a company? I don't know, because he's an asshole.
We don't have a lot of time left.
So order your Amico now.
I think I'm making my choice on what I would like one of our last things to be. If you have anything else, please let me know. But as you all know, the new Avatar movie, unfortunately nothing to do with The Last Airbender, is coming.
Blue Cat movie.
The Blue Cat Avatar movie is coming. It's me. I'm just a cat girl. Let me in.
I'm just a cat girl. Let me drown Sigourney Weaver. I'm just a cat girl. Let me waterboard a 70-year-old woman.
Anyways, so James Cameron, of course, after like 118 years, is releasing Avatar 2. Some people are very excited about it. That is a small group of some people. When I saw Doctor Strange, I came in right after they like premiered the Avatar trailer at the TLC theater. And I was like, oh, thank God. Okay, cool.
Thank God I don't have to talk to anybody about Avatar.
God, okay.
Quick,
cool,
name
cool,
three
cool.
characters from Avatar. Sigourney Weaver. Nermal the cat.
Garfield the cat. Aang?
John Avatar.
Anyways, so it took 118 years to make the second Avatar movie. James Cameron was very busy, been working on it the whole time.
Listen, you can't waterboard Sigourney Weaver quickly. You have to do it slowly, is what James Cameron said.
There is a specific thing that Anthony is referencing, just so you know. In an interview with James Cameron, he said, the Avatar films themselves are all kind of all-consuming. I've got some other things that I'm developing as well that are very exciting. I think eventually over time, and I don't know if that's after 3 or after 4, I'll want to pass the baton to a director that I trust to take over so I can go do some other stuff that I'm interested in.
Dude, imagine being the person who takes over James Cameron's 30-year pet project
And like
under his oversight. Hey, talk to people who've worked with James Cameron about what his oversight is like before you take that job.
But here's the thing for me. Why would we make so many of these? Why is he like, well, it has to stop. It's like a runaway train. We can't stop making Avatar movies. So at some point, I'm going to have to pass them on.
What are you talking about, man? You haven't even put the second one out.
Just stop making them.
Why are we all so convinced that the second Avatar is going to do incredibly well? The first Avatar is not a great film. It came out at a time when 3D animation like that was just like, ooh, whoa. It's like Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within, only it doesn't make me go, ugh, whenever they move their mouths.
So
I've seen Fern Gully.
IGN running the headline, James Cameron might not direct Avatar 4 and 5, may pass the baton on to someone he trusts, and not, hey, if we get Avatar 5, it's going to be 2082.
Yo.
5?
Imagine.
We don't even have 2 yet.
Imagine.
Why would you make that?
Imagine he finishes 2 and 3, and you take over from him. And you have to, it's like a curse. It's like a curse where you're bound to a task. You know how you have to bind a ghost to a task so it won't hurt you? And it's like, I'm going to bind this ghost to play solitaire, but I'm secretly removing a card so it can never win. If you take over Avatar from James Cameron, it's like staying at the Overlook Hotel. You've always been at the Overlook Hotel. You will always be at the Overlook Hotel. You will be making an Avatar movie until you die, not just because it takes 15 years for James Cameron to make them, but because you're trying to make a 15-year movie, and James Cameron is going, how are you doing that? I don't like the way.
Remember the pass the baton
No,
thing?
it's
I've
weird.
got it now. It's my baton.
Actually, is that the paperclip you're going to use?
Well,
Oh my
yeah, I mean,
God.
it was like just holding it.
No, God, here. We got to work on your pen. Stand up straight. What is with your posture? You can't direct a movie like this. He's like, James Cameron is calling you from his submarine. He's like zooming you from his submarine. He's like, turn me around. Let me see the shoot. Who are you drowning today?
Got an iPad that like rolls around that he can control on set.
Turn around. I want to see who you're drowning today. I can't finish unless I see who you're drowning.
Oh, no. Gross. Anyways, Avatar 5 is never going to happen because the planet will not survive that long. The inevitable heat death of the universe is sooner than Avatar 5.
I can't imagine interest in Avatar will survive that long. What do you think will survive longer, the planet or interest in Avatar?
Interest in Avatar is already dead, but so is the planet.
Tough to say.
It's tough to say.
Tough to say. Hey, BBs, do you like the Blue Cat movie? Are you looking forward to the Blue Cat movie?
And genuinely, if you are, we're happy for you. That's great. We want people to love things, and that's excellent. It is simply a matter of like,
I just don't get it.
It's just been too long. It's been too long.
You can't talk. It's like me talking about my 5th novel. I've never written a novel. What are you talking about, Anthony?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? Tranquilo.
Tranquilo,
Tranquilo,
buddy.
Assassino. Pull back. Work on one thing at a time.
Anyways, y'all, that is all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, we do this show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at exactly 8 a.m. Pacific. And if it is not 8 a.m. on your clock when we get started, that's incorrect.
Yeah.
You should get that checked out.
Fix
I'm
you.
concerned for you.
Fix you.
Get your clock checked, my guy.
You fix you now. Not our. You.
You. So we'll be back, of course, on Friday. And in addition to being right here on Friday, we will also be right there on Friday on the other side of this wall for the season premiere of Failed Save Season 5. If you have not watched Failed Save previously, you can jump in at this season, or you can go back in the next 2 days and catch up on the last season, which is 12 episodes. We started a new campaign, so it's a pretty easy point to jump in.
I would
It's gonna be
recommend
really
going
good.
back and, like, you've got 48 hours to listen to 72 hours worth of content if you start from episode 1.
Yeah.
So what I would say is get one of those podcast apps that plays it at 3x speed and listen to the whole thing at 3x speed over the next 2 days.
Yeah. But super catch up. Yes, of course, you can also come back here on this channel today at 4 p.m. Pacific. We will be airing the second episode of our Local Legends 2-Shot Adventure. It's an anthology series, so it's different characters, same cast, and it's going to be very, very fun. Yesterday's one shot was great. It's up now on the VODs if you want to go back and watch that. Omar ran it, and it was excellent. Very good. Hey, Anthony, we're going to go through and we're going to thank everybody who supported us during the show after this, but where can they find you on the internet in the meantime?
Oh, my stars and garters, thank you for asking, Saige. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Carboni, except for here on Twitch, where I'm at Anthony Carboni. Twitch, you cowards, it's mine. Give it back to me. Thinking about streaming tonight. Haven't streamed in a while. Thinking about it. Maybe follow, maybe see what happens. I don't know. And then also, of course, like she said, Friday's big day.
Friday's big day.
Friday's
Very
big day.
excited. We miss Failed Save so much, and I hope you are excited for it. We definitely left off on a bit of a cliffhanger.
I know.
I don't know.
What will happen to
You
our
can
good
find
folks?
me everywhere on the internet at Not Sage. I stream over on my channel, typically Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, but this week is fucked because of all the extra stuff that we're airing here. So I'm not on my channel like at all this week. I'm mostly just hanging out here on this channel. And you can find me on the Good Time Society this afternoon before our one shot for Rebecca Scott's Local Legends one shot. Let's go through and let's thank everybody. There's a lot of ways to support this channel. We are an entirely independent network of 2 people in a shed just talking about the things we like.
I can do
for
this.
the most part, which is pretty impressive, but for some reason no one's paying us for it.
It's
so
weird. But hey, if you want to support us and you don't have money or you don't want to give us money, that's totally cool. All you got, there are things you can do. Tell friends about the show. Tweet about it. Share things. Join the Discord. Maybe it's free real estate. You don't got to pay no money.
Literally showing up and watching the show is the number one thing you can do to keep us functioning.
We're almost 300 BBs strong every episode now, and that's amazing.
That's
to see
very cool.
Growth.
That's because of you.
Yeah, you did that.
Thank you, Jesse PB, for the compliment on the necklace. It does say fuck off on it.
Yeah.
Now let's go through and let's thank everybody that did a monetary support today, which we're very, very appreciative of. I also like to go through and when people tweet about the show and let people know that they're going to be watching, I will shout you out too, just so you know going forward.
Yeah. Hey, Samythical24601 with the resub for 9 months saying, good morning, friends. Have a good day. You too. Britt JK with the resub for 5 months. That's a pretty good chunk of time. I think you might like us. Saying 5 months with you beautiful pickles. V230 with the resub for 16 months. Saying, I have no idea how I ever got news before this. I don't remember 16 months ago. Maybe you didn't. Maybe we didn't exist.
Maybe there was no news.
Hardliner tipped $100. Saying,
goodness.
Saying, I saw the little runt sitting there on a log. I asked him his name, and in a raspy voice, he said Yoda. Yo, 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 Yoda. Jason White with the $100 tip. Soul Reaper so much generosity. Soul Reaper Flores with the resub for 12 months, a Gregorian year. What comes next month?
A Pixel Circus year.
J White 479 with a resub for 6 months. I think you might like us. Fraud Monet with a resub for 6 months, saying it's been a pretty bad 6 months, but you two have made it better. Oh. Well, we're happy we could help, Fraud Monet, and we hope things get better for you. David, the Dargon Zine writer with the resub for 16 months.
And
Thank you
just
so
had
much.
an anonymous tip. Who did that?
Show yourself.
Or don't. Thank you. It's
Or
okay to be
don't.
anonymous.
It's totally
we
fine.
actually just really appreciate you. Thank you for the $20 tip
But if you
as well.
did show yourself, we'd be so nice. We would be.
We would be very nice.
We would be very nice.
Yeah, we'd be very, very nice.
Lee Green Griffin just resubbed for 18 months. It's all happening. This is
Very
wild because I'm only 18 months old? No. That's good parenting. setting you up for the future. When your child is born, start a savings account for them, and also subscribe them to Pixel Circus.
Those are the things. Everybody, we love you so much. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us today.
Did you hear my knees pop? That was
I
so
saw the
loud.
whole shed shake. We'll see you on Friday. Goodbye, BBs.
Goodbye, BBs. We love you. It was my knees popped real big pop.